My name is Mallory Tolcher. I am an interdisciplinary artist, so I work within sculpture and installation, and I mostly work about sport and basketball. When I was in university and making art about sport, it was very like one surface, one level. I remember going to my professor and he said, if you could do anything outside of art, what would you do? And so I said I wanted to slam dunk a basketball. And so like for the rest of the year, all I did was train. And one thing that kept coming up over and over again, especially like with adults that I would talk to, is like, yeah, but you're like a girl. Sport became more about like gender politics and identity and like who's visible and who's not visible. So Nothing But Net came from me really wanting to explore materials. Originally, I wanted to make these really delicate nets that explored things that I knew that could break apart, and the goal was to put them out into the public to have them played on. I would go back and they would still like remain intact. And so the Nothing But Net series, although it features like flowers and lace and crystals and pearls, all those traditionally feminine materials held up strong. And so what ended up happening was it was like saying there's strength in softness. The fadeaway is like one of the most exciting projects I've worked on to date. It was inspired by the history that I've been reading of women's sportwear. Women had to play in polyester, they had to have collars on them, dry clean only satin, all for the sake of like trying to protect their femininity. Taking all of that into consideration, that they were still true hard athletes and that they had to play in this really restrictive and unnecessary clothing to the point that like they still played. I just think it shows so much resiliency through women. When it comes down to the materials that I use, there's a certain softness that they bring that I think is missing in the sports world. Like I like how my work can create dialogue and create conversations. We want to see women succeed, and we want to see not only women, but like within the NBA, we need questions of like, okay, it's okay to be soft and not as hyper masculine as traditionally what we've seen in sport. I hope it like opens up some sort of avenue, whether it is in sport or whether it is in art, and merging them both. I think as I see my daughter grow up, it's important for me to make sure that she has avenues that she's included in and that she feels represented in. And although there's a lot more of that happening, I think that like we still need to get the ball rolling and get it a little bit bigger. And so I hope that my artwork can somehow contribute to that in one way or